Good morning, students. The last class we were discussing about the plastics, and we know plastics are of different types. Even though if they are of different types, their arrangement is different. That is, the particles inside the plastics they have a different arrangement. That is linear arrangement and cross-linked arrangement that we have discussed in the previous class. So, today and we also discussed what is plasticity. There are certain substances which can be molded into into sheets or can be drawn into fibers on heating, and that is called a plasticity. So, these things we have discussed in the previous class, and today we are going to discuss about the kinds of plastics. So, mainly there are two kinds of plastics are there, that is thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. And what is thermoplastics? Thermoplastics means these are the plastics which can be molded into any shape on heating and can bend easily. That is called thermoplastics. Plastics which can be molded into any shape on heating and which can be molded again and again into different shapes on heating, and it can bend easily. They are called thermoplastics. Example for thermoplastics is polyvinyl chloride. What is polyvinyl chloride? That is called PVC. Polystyrene, polythene, etc. All these are examples for thermoplastics. Polystyrene, polythene. Then thermosetting plastics. What is thermosetting plastics? These are the plastics which can be molded, which can when we heat this thermosetting plastic, once we made into a shape, we cannot regain its original shape on heating. It means once it is molded, we will not get the again into different shape, or we cannot make them into different shape by heating. So, that is called thermosetting plastics. The plastics which can be molded into, once we made into a particular shape, cannot regain its original shape on heating, and we cannot mold again and again. Once it is made, that will be its shape. Okay, that is called thermosetting. It becomes setted, or it becomes set when we heat, or when we molded into a shape, it becomes set. That is called thermosetting plastic. Example, bakelite, melamine, formica. All these are examples for thermosetting plastics. Now, let us see the differences between these thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Here we can take the parameters. What are the different parameters to differentiate between these thermoplastic and thermosetting plastics? These are the examples. See, examples I have already written here: polyvinyl chloride, polystyrene, and then polythene is also comes under thermoplastics. Thermosetting plastic, bakelite, melamine, formica. Then about their nature. I told you that here in thermoplastics, we can mold them into a different shape on heating and cooling. So, we can mold again and again on heating and cooling. But in the case of thermosetting plastic, we cannot mold them again. Once we made into a shape, it will become set. So, that is thermosetting plastic. Okay, that is their nature. And then about the toughness. about the toughness. They are less tough. Thermoplastics are less tough as compared to thermosetting plastic. They are less tough as compared to thermosetting plastic, but here they are tough and rigid. Tough and rigid. They show rigidity. They show rigidity or tough and rigid. They are tough and rigid. Then effect of heat. What is the effect of heat on thermoplastics? They become soft on heating, isn't it? Soft on heating. But what about thermosetting? They do not become soft, do not become soft on heating, So here they become soft on heating, but here they do not become soft on heating. Then the effect of temperature. Effect of temperature means this thermoplastic cannot withstand high temperature, because when we increase the temperature or when we heat at high temperature, this becomes soft and we can make them into different shapes, we can mold them into different shape. But here thermosetting plastic, they can withstand high temperature, so we cannot mold into different shapes. That is the effect of temperature. And then recycledness. Here thermoplastics are, whether it is recycled or recycledness. Here thermoplastics can be recycled, but thermosetting plastic cannot be recycled. It cannot be recycled. So these are the differentiation between differences between the thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Okay. Then the next thing we are going to discuss about general properties and use of plastics. What are the general properties and use of plastics? General properties and use of plastics. We know plastics are of different kinds and they show different physical and chemical properties, but they show some common characteristics or some common properties, and let us see which are they. The first one is plastics are non-reactive. Plastics are non-reactive. We know there are many types of instruments which are made up of iron. So when we expose iron substances or iron utensils or iron, when we expose iron in air, and that is moist air, so they undergo after a few days they undergo rusting. That is called a corrosion of iron. So but in the case of plastic, they will not undergo any type of corrosion, or it will not react with the air and moisture. So it is that is they are less reactive or non-reactive. So that is why plastics are used for making different types of substances. For example, they are used for making plastics are used for making what floor tiles. Then they are used for making raincoat, then soles of the shoes, and then chapels, etc. Many things are made up of plastics. Why? Because they are non-reactive. They are non-reactive. And not only that, these plastics are used for making pipes, that is water pipes, water tanks, etc. Because they will not react with water, they will not react with the moisture, they will not react with the air. So that is why they are non-reactive. And then plastics are lightweight. They are lightweight. Take an example, thermocol. You know, thermocol is having very lightweight, and where we are using this thermocol? Thermocol is used for making disposable cups, disposable plates, and also we are using for packaging materials, like if in order to pack these electronic items, television, that is cell phones, computers, etc. We are using this thermocol. Thermocol is a kind of plastic. Okay, then they are lightweight. And third one, they are strong and durable. They are strong and durable. We know that that is melamine. Melamine is used for making unbreakable unbreakable utensils, that is dinnerwares. Dinnerwares is made up of melamine. Melamine is a kind of plastic that is used for making unbreakable dinnerwares, kitchenwares, and then many other things. And then PVC is used for making pipes, and then furnitures, then floor tiles, etc. So they are why they are using? Because they are strong and durable. They are long lasting. And then they are poor conductors of heat. Plastics are poor conductors of heat. We know that is pressure cooker handles, they are made up of bakelite. So the hands, that is the handles of pressure cooker and then many other kitchen utensils, they are made up of a kind of plastic that is made up of bakelite. So they are they will not conduct heat energy, they will not conduct heat. That is why they are poor conductors of heat. Okay. Then fifth one, they are poor conductors of electricity. They are poor conductors of electricity. We know bakelite is also used for making electrical switches and plugs. That is made up of bakelite. Why? Because they will not conduct. We can touch the switch without any fear. Why? Because it will not conduct any electricity, isn't it? So, and then it is for wiring, inside the wire, that is the wire is wrapped or it is insulated with the plastics. Why? Because plastics will not the cellotape, those things are also plastics. So why? Because they will not conduct electricity. So they are poor conductors of electricity. And sixth one, they are inert to chemicals. They are inert to chemicals. You might have heard about that is non-stick pans. So there is a coating is there that is called Teflon. Teflon coating is there. Teflon, tetrafluoroethylene, polytetrafluoroethylene, that is called Teflon. Polytetrafluoroethylene, that is called Teflon. Teflon is a kind of plastic, And this plastic, what is the speciality, what is the peculiarity of this plastic is that it will not stick on to the, or it will not react to the water, it will not react with the oil, etc. And that is why we are using this Teflon, and they can withstand high temperature because about 300 degrees Celsius they can withstand high temperature. So that is why we are using in many kitchen ways. So they are inert towards the chemicals. So these are the general properties and use of plastics. Okay. Now the next topic we are going to discuss about plastics and the environment. Plastics and environment. We know in our daily life we are using plastic. Without plastic we can imagine a world, isn't it? Nowadays everything in your home or in your school, everywhere we are using plastic. So but the thing is that when we use the plastics, where we after usage, where we dump these type of plastics, and what type of hazardness that we are making into the environment. So for example, if you are going for a shopping, or if you are purchasing something from the market, the shopkeeper may give you a polythene bag, isn't it? So this polythene bag, so at that time either you can carry, if you are carrying one jute bag or any cloth or cotton bag, so we can avoid the use of plastics. But when you throw after purchasing the things, or after bringing those plastic materials, and if you are throwing into any place, any road or any drainage, so that will produce many kinds of hazardness, isn't it? So why we that is why it is advised that do not throw these type of plastics to drainage system or any other roads or streets. Why? Because it may create many problems. This plastics is a type of it is non biodegradable substance, isn't it? It is non biodegradable substance. Non biodegradable substance. You know what is biodegradable substance and non biodegradable substance? Animal waste, then peels of vegetables, leftover food, etc. All those things are biodegradable substances. Those substances can be, we can break them into simple harmless substances by the action of microorganism like bacteria, isn't it? So that's why they are degradable. We can decompose them. But plastics, it is a non-biodegradable substance. Non-biodegradable substance which we cannot make them into simple harmless substance by the action of any organism or any microorganism like bacteria. So we have to take care by using these type of plastics. And what are the environmental hazardness that the plastics are making? So we know the first one, if you are discussing these things, the thing is that we know that when we burn plastic, they do not undergo complete burning, and not only that, it may produce some toxic gases like dioxin. So this dioxin is very dangerous gas. When we continuously inhale this toxic gas, it may leads to that is carcinogenic diseases like cancer, and also it may cause the ozone depletion. So that is they cause what? On burning, it produces what? Air pollution. It produces air pollution. Burning of plastics leads to air pollution. Then when we dump these type of plastic in any type of water bodies like rivers or lakes or even in seas, you know, these aquatic plants and animals, they may suffer this type of hazardness, because it create many other problems. So that will cause what? Water pollution. Dumping in waste in water bodies, that may cause water pollution. And when we dump these type of plastics in any lands, that is in landfills, etc., it will, that is, these plastics will prevent the percolation, or it will prevent the seeping of water, that is water will not go inside. So that is why it is another important problem, because these type of landfills, they are the best breeding place for these are the best breeding surfaces or place for the disease causing germs and insects, So that will cause what? Soil pollution. Then what next? We know when we throw these type of plastics, sometimes we may throw these plastics into any drainage. So when we throw these plastics into drainage or sewer lines, it will block the drainage system or sewer system. So that will create a flood-like situation, isn't it? That may create a flood-like situation. And if water exists in this drainage system, that may also it is the best breeding place for the germs, that is disease causing animals, disease causing microorganisms. So that should be avoided. And then another thing is that when we throw the food items along with the plastics, stray animals, they may take these plastics, and you know, when they take these food items along with the plastic, that will damage their digestive system, and that may leads to the death of the animals. So all these things are the hazardness of usage of plastics. So what steps to be taken to avoid this type of hazardness, that we are going to discuss in the that is the next thing we are going to discuss about the solution or problems created by the plastics. What are the solutions to the problems created by the plastics? For that, let us see what are the solutions for the problems created by plastics. So we have to follow the 5R principle. The 5R principle, that is, the first one is refuse. The second one is reduce, and third one is reuse, fourth one is recycle, and fifth one is recover. These are the 5R principles. 5R principles: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. So refuse means, for example, refuse and reduce, we are discussing these things. That is, when we go for, I told you that when we go for a shopping, so you carry a jute bag or any other cotton bag instead of bringing polythene bags from the shop, because sometimes the shopkeeper may give you the things in the polythene bag. So it is so avoid those type of habits. So instead that you can carry a jute bag or any cloth bag or any cotton bags. Okay. So, and if they are giving, you just tell them that we don't want, because I will take my bag from my home, and then I will take those things. Okay. That way we can refuse and reduce the use of, instead of, so maximum avoid the use of plastics, that is reduce. Then reuse, if we in our home or in our with us many plastics are there, you just clean it, dry it, and we can reuse it again. So in that way reuse, the things are there, then you wash it, dry it, and we can reuse it again. Then recycle means before recycle, reuse, okay, recycle. For the recycle, what we are doing now, there are two dustbins, two types of dustbins are there, that is green bin and blue bin. So the green bin, in green bin, biodegradable substances are it is kept in green bin, and blue bin, that is non-biodegradable substances like plastics, etc. Plastics, metals, etc. We can keep or we can throw the those type of non-biodegradable substances in blue bin, and this, from this we can collect and then we can recycle for further purposes. Recycle means, the black polythene bag, black bag that is made up of, it is a recycled one. So in that way we can avoid the usage and reduce the usage, and we can recycle the plastics, and then maximum avoid the use of plastic, and make the environmental, you have to develop environmental friendly habits instead of using this type of non-biodegradable substances. So in this way we can solve the problems created by the plastics. Okay. With this we have finished the first chapter. Hope you understood, and so we will see again in the next class. Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you.